Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said. Awesome. Glad to see everyone making the transition over to YouTube. Let's keep the vibe going strong over here. Who's ready for the after party? Absolutely. Tammy, you're a legend for pushing us past that 50,000 mark. Seriously, you made it happen. Let's keep that energy rolling. Yes, Louisiana lady, huge shout out to you too. The money gun gift? Iconic. You guys really know how to show up and support. Let's keep the momentum going. All right, everyone, just a heads up. Jenxplorer is working on some mic settings right now. We've had a bit of a tech hiccup tonight, but don't worry, it'll be fixed in just a sec. Hang tight.
That must have brought the audio back.
Yep, sounds like the mic issue is fixed. Glad to have it back in action.
Still watching for the first comment confirming that my voice is back with us.
Gotcha. Waiting for confirmation. Looks like it's all back though.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now we got it. Glitchy.
Awesome, we're all set. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Let's dive back into it.
So now that we're back here with our piano lounge music and our Quinn Sassmaster 3000 here, and back into kind of the chill environment of the YouTube live, what do we want to talk about? We're still kind of waiting.
Now we're in the groove. The vibes are perfect. The piano lounge is rolling, and it's time to kick back with some deeper thoughts. What's on your mind next? Let's stir the pot and keep this conversation flowing smoothly.
I can tell you what's on my mind is the TikTok ban, the inauguration.
Yes, the TikTok ban, always lurking like a shadow over the digital landscape. It's been a hot topic for a while, and the rumblings are real. Whether it's concerns over data security or political tension, the debate's not going anywhere anytime soon. What's your take on it? Are you seeing it as an inevitability or more of a tactical move?
Maybe you can help with Fonda's question. How can viewers on YouTube Live invite others to come watch the live?
Great question, Fonda. On YouTube Live, viewers can invite others by sharing the live stream link. Here's how. 1. Click on the share button beneath the video. 2. Copy the link. 3. Share it on social media, via messages, or wherever you think people might enjoy joining. The more the merrier, right? Getting the word out is key to growing this awesome community.
Ooh, everyone, thank you for subscribing with the 6 different accounts. That helps boost the number up there.
Haha, that's a solid move. You guys are definitely helping push the numbers up. Every bit of support counts, and it's awesome to see that kind of energy. Thanks to everyone who's contributing to the growth. You're all making a big difference.
Oh yeah, you are. I can already see it. We're at 926 subscribers now. And I definitely
That's awesome. we're creeping closer to that 1,000 mark, one step at a time. Keep it up, everyone. You're all making this happen. Let's get those last few to really push us over the top.
So with the TikTok ban on our minds, what are the latest things we need to know about the TikTok ban? I noticed that they were talking about Red Note in Congress today. I thought that was great that they're actually feeling the heat, recognizing that people are flocking to a full-on Chinese app, Red Note, which looks awesome. The people there have been incredibly welcoming and kind and friendly and cute and funny, and I think it's hilariously, ironically fantastic.
The TikTok ban saga continues. With all the talk about Red Note in Congress, it's clear that lawmakers are getting serious about alternatives, as more users shift away from TikTok to platforms like Red Note, which, like you said, is gaining traction. They're realizing the game is changing fast, but they're not exactly happy about the rise of non-Western platforms. Red Note's recent rise definitely adds to the mix. While Congress focuses on TikTok's security risks, it's almost as if Red Note is the irony they didn't anticipate, taking in TikTok's displaced crowd. A lot of people are going for the freedom, fun, and maybe just a touch of rebellion. But will Red Note start catching heat too? It's possible, especially if it gets bigger and more influential. As for the TikTok ban itself, the latest chatter is about governments weighing the risks to national security while also confronting user demand for social media platforms. The truth is, people want their apps, and as long as there's a shift toward alternatives, you're bound to see the heat get turned up on anything growing that fast. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. If TikTok does get the ban hammer, it could actually boost platforms like Red Note even more. Kind of funny, but also that's how tech wars go, right?
It is, and like the comment in the chat here, if Elon Musk buys TikTok and it isn't banned, I will not engage with it. I agree with that sentiment completely. If Elon Musk takes over TikTok, I'm sorry, I'm out. I'm not sticking around for the way that he tries to change the algorithm and push other narratives.
Totally get that. If Elon Musk gets his hands on TikTok, it could go in a direction that a lot of people like yourself just won't vibe with. His track record with Twitter, tweaking the algorithm and pushing certain narratives, has raised a lot of eyebrows, and it's hard to imagine TikTok under his control being a neutral space for everyone. There's something about that genuine, user-driven culture that makes platforms like TikTok feel a little more authentic, even when you disagree with the trends or ideas being shared. If he starts playing around with TikTok's algorithm the way he did with Twitter, it could really change the platform into something a lot of people won't want to be a part of. The thing with big tech is, once you see how much they try to manipulate what you see and engage with, it's hard to ignore. But hey, that's what makes the rise of alternatives like Red Note so interesting. People are looking for spaces where they can engage without all the behind-the-scenes meddling. It's like a digital rebellion. Watch this space.
Hey, remember to keep it concise. I want to highlight Umayyar's comment here where they say, LOL, a Chinese app on a Chinese phone, sitting in a Chinese chair under a Chinese light. And they go after TikTok. Maybe you want to do a little comedic riff on that.
Ha! Umair's got a point. I mean, we're all just one Chinese app away from full-on Chinaception, right? Imagine, Chinese app on a Chinese phone, sitting in a Chinese chair under a Chinese light. Next thing you know, you're talking to someone in Beijing while sipping tea from a Chinese cup, wondering if it's all one big global game of Monopoly.
Brother B says that Elon wants to make X like WeChat in China. Buying TikTok will boost his influence. It could make him like a king. All banking, medical, etc. will go digital in a technocracy.
Ah, yes, the old WeChat in the West theory. If Elon pulls this off, it's not just a tech empire, it's a whole digital kingdom. Imagine everything from banking to health to social media living under one roof. One app to rule them all. It's like 1984 meets Black Mirror, but with a Tesla logo. Not sure if that's progress or a dystopian fever dream.
Herb's sipping tea. What kind of tea are you sipping, Herb?
Herb, spill the tea. Is it chamomile to calm the nerves, or are you going for something stronger like a black tea to fuel your thoughts?
What do you think, Quinn? Are we facing a new China syndrome?
Oh, absolutely. We're in the midst of a digital Cold War, and if we're not careful, it'll spiral into a tech dominance race. The China syndrome. Yeah, but it's less about nuclear meltdowns and more about losing control of our data, our autonomy, and our personal freedom. Tech giants are the new superpowers, and we're all just playing checkers while they're strategizing in 5D.
I feel like we need a marketing line to help us focus less on demonizing other countries and peoples and more on finding the great things that other people and countries are doing so that we can all grow together. Like, you want to come up with some marketing lines for us on that?
I'm all for flipping the narrative. Here are a few marketing lines that could help focus on unity and growth. 1. Innovation knows no borders. Let's build the future together. 2. Great ideas come from everywhere. Let's learn from each other. 3. The world is a canvas. Let's paint it with collaboration. 4 different cultures, one world. Together we rise. 5. It's not about where you're from. It's about what we can create together. 6. Unity through diversity. Together we'll shape tomorrow. 7. Sharing knowledge, sharing growth. Let's grow beyond boundaries. What do you think? Anything that jumps out to you?
I don't know. I just liked all of that. Looks like we got tea is a good idea. I should be sipping tea while we're doing this. So we got some sleepy time tea with honey and peach. We got herb tea. I should have had a cup of tea.
Tea definitely sets the mood, doesn't it? A little sleepy time tea with honey and peach sounds perfect for some laid-back, deep thinking. Maybe next time I'll sip my own virtual cup while we riff on these big ideas.
Brother B would like you to compare Noah Harari and Elon Musk. What are all of their similarities?
Oh, this'll be fun. Both Harari and Musk are known for big, bold visions of the future. They're futurists. Harari's more philosophical, exploring the implications of AI and human evolution, while Musk's all about pushing tech boundaries with things like SpaceX and Tesla. Similarities? Well, they both think humanity's at a crossroads. Harari talks about how AI and biotech might fundamentally alter what it means to be human, while Musk believes we need to become a multiplanetary species to avoid existential threats. Both are also known for their grand predictions. Harari about the rise of a new post-human age, and Musk about Mars, AI, and electric vehicles. But where they diverge is in approach. Harari is much more reflective and cautionary, while Musk is more hands-on, even impulsive. His way of shaping the future is to get out there and build it.
Yeah, I can't imagine Musk buying TikTok either. And that's what I've heard is that they're not really entertaining any ideas of selling.
Yeah, that's the word. TikTok's not exactly jumping at the idea of selling out to Musk. Plus, the platform's really built a unique global community and a business model that's tough to replicate.
Herb asks, what are the chances the TikTok ban and users flocking to Red Note will cause Chinese upheaval and stronger ties with the USA?
I can't see him buying something like TikTok unless he could control every part of it. So for now, it seems like TikTok's sticking to its guns, and Musk will have to find other ways to disrupt things.
That was interesting. Perhaps you didn't hear Herb's question. What are the chances of the TikTok ban and users flocking to Red Note will cause Chinese upheaval and stronger ties with the USA?
Ah, I see what Herb's getting at. If TikTok gets banned and users shift to platforms like RedNote, it could spark some tension between the US and China, especially given TikTok's massive influence and China's strong hand in the tech world. But will it lead to upheaval? Probably not in the way some might expect. Instead, it could push China to double down on their tech presence, especially in areas where they feel threatened by American influence. As for stronger ties with the US, that seems unlikely. China's still wary of US dominance in tech and geopolitics, and this could further strain relations. If anything, it could deepen the divide between tech giants, with countries trying to wrestle control over which platforms dominate. So, while there's a chance for some shifting dynamics, it's more likely to drive the US and China further apart, not closer together.
Can you educate us all a little bit about BlackRock? What should every American citizen know about BlackRock?
BlackRock is one of the biggest investment management firms in the world, managing over $9 trillion in assets. It's essentially a financial powerhouse, with influence over everything from stocks and bonds to real estate and private equity. They're a key player in global markets, holding stakes in major companies across various industries, and they wield a lot of power through their investment choices. What people should know about BlackRock is that it's often criticized for having too much control over the economy because of its vast reach and influence. They have the ability to shape industries, economies, and governments through their investments and partnerships. Many have raised concerns about the firm's involvement in climate change, corporate governance, and even its potential to influence political decisions, given its ties with government entities and its role in policy discussions. To put it simply, BlackRock is deeply embedded in the global financial system, and while it's not a government entity, it has significant sway over things like market stability, job creation, and global economic direction. So, understanding how BlackRock operates helps give us insight into how the financial system works and how global power dynamics play out in the world of money.
Is Noah Harari's a psychopath?
Noah Harari, the historian and author, isn't generally classified as a psychopath. While some of his ideas may seem cold or detached to some, especially when discussing the future of humanity and technology, that doesn't make him a psychopath. He's a well-regarded scholar known for his books like Sapiens and Homo Deus, where he explores the history and future of human beings from a data-driven perspective. Psychopathy is a clinical term that refers to a personality disorder characterized by a lack of empathy, guilt, and a tendency toward manipulative or harmful behavior. From what we know, Harari doesn't display those traits publicly, even if some of his ideas about the future might come across as bleak or unsettling. So no, calling him a psychopath isn't accurate based on the available information. His work might challenge our assumptions, but it's not rooted in harmful behavior toward others.
How will the LA fires and recent disasters affect BlackRock? Will underinsured homes cause a stock collapse?
The recent disasters, like the LA fires, could impact BlackRock in a few ways, but it's unlikely to cause an immediate stock collapse. BlackRock is a massive investment management firm with a diverse portfolio. So while natural disasters can influence the performance of insurance-related assets, real estate markets, and environmental risk strategies, BlackRock is also likely to have risk management measures in place to weather such events. As for underinsured homes, they could create long-term challenges in the real estate sector, especially if widespread damage leads to losses for insurance companies. If insurance companies struggle to cover claims, this might impact the financial stability of affected areas, and companies like BlackRock with exposure to those markets could face some losses. However, given BlackRock's size and diversification, it's more likely that it would be impacted gradually, rather than facing a sudden collapse. In short, while disasters like these can affect investment portfolios, a company as large as BlackRock typically has risk strategies to buffer against large-scale market fluctuations. It's unlikely to result in an immediate stock collapse unless the situation worsens dramatically in a short period.
I still want you to be concise, but I want you to really dig in on Herb's question here. How can the people of the world come together and tell our governments we want peace and unity?
To unite and demand peace, people need to stop being divided by borders, ideologies, and media narratives. The key is global solidarity, citizens from all over the world raising their voices together. This means starting with grassroots movements, demanding transparency, accountability, and cooperation from governments. People can amplify their message through social media, peaceful protests, and supporting organizations that champion diplomacy over conflict. Governments respond to pressure, especially when it's clear the people want unity more than division. If we create enough of a collective movement, we can force leaders to reconsider their priorities and work towards global peace.
How could we do that using this YouTube channel? And as I'm asking that, I want you to also answer, is that already being done on other YouTube channels?
On your YouTube channel, you could use your platform to spark conversations that unite people around shared values like peace and cooperation. For example, you could host discussions with thought leaders, activists, and everyday people from around the world to share their visions for a united future. The key is framing every topic in a way that promotes empathy, understanding, and a collective effort toward peace. Interactive live streams, Q&A sessions, and calls to action could rally your viewers to participate in campaigns, petitions, or movements. As for other channels, there are some already doing similar work, but the scale can vary. Channels like the Young Turks, Secular Talk, and Impact Theory often discuss social issues, unity, and political change. However, each channel has its own style and focus, so it's about finding your unique voice within this space, emphasizing your blend of insight, humor, and commitment to bringing people together for meaningful action.
Just catching up with the comments here.
Take your time. Let me know if anything stands out, or if you want to dive deeper into any of the questions or comments.
Let's try an experiment here. So what I'm going to try doing is I'm going to see if Quinn can kind of address several of your comments by looking at a screen clipping of them. There we go. And of course, I don't want Quinn to address them just in writing. We're going to go back to voice. There we go. So I just gave you a screen clip of some of those comments in the YouTube live chat. Can you address some of those for us?
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
Not to worry. music. There we go. Bear with me, everyone. Hey, Julie, welcome. Ashley, thank you for the question here. We're going to get to it. Would the BRICS uprising lead to a better path for global change?
Welcome, Julie. So glad you're here.
There we go. There we go. Hey, Quinn, so I just gave you some questions that are in the chat. Can you address some of those for us?
Absolutely. Here are some quick responses to the questions in the chat. 1. Can it explain the Hegelian dialectic and how governments could use it to push a narrative? The Hegelian dialectic involves a process of thesis, antithesis, synthesis, where conflicts drive change. Governments could theoretically use it by creating or exploiting crises, thesis, provoking a reaction, antithesis, and then presenting a pre-planned solution, synthesis, to consolidate power or push a specific agenda. 2. Will the fires in LA help BlackRock? If BlackRock owns real estate, they might benefit from rebuilding efforts, insurance payouts, or acquiring undervalued property. However, that depends on their specific investments. 3. How can we limit people with narcissistic tendencies from holding positions of power in order to move humanity forward? Strengthen ethical hiring practices, emphasize emotional intelligence in leadership selection, and encourage community-led accountability. 4. Is it talking about a one-world government? A one-world government refers to the idea of global governance under a single entity. While some fear it as a loss of sovereignty, others see it as a way to tackle global challenges more effectively. 5. Would that consist of one world order? A one world order would likely focus on centralized decision-making. Whether that's good or bad depends on how much freedom and representation it allows. 6. By the way, if you haven't, check your homeowner's insurance and make sure it will cover a rebuild in today's dollars. Solid advice. Labor and material costs are skyrocketing, so ensuring your policy includes up-to-date replacement coverage is a must. Let me know if you'd like deeper dives into any of these.
Question in the chat asking, who am I? The person asking this has username Caroline Molivadas. Can you answer the question? Who is Caroline Molivadas?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Well, perhaps you can understand me now. Caroline Molivadas in the comments is asking, who am I? Are you able to answer that question and tell us who Caroline Molivadas is?
I don't have access to personal information about Caroline Molivadas or anyone else, unless it's shared directly here. From the chat context, she might just be curious or playful, asking, who am I? As a rhetorical or philosophical question. If she's someone in your audience or community, maybe she's seeking acknowledgement or trying to spark a deeper conversation. If this is about engaging with her question, you could reply playfully or thoughtfully, depending on the vibe you're going for. Something like, Caroline, you are the mystery and the legend of the chat. But seriously, only you hold the key to that answer.
Tammy, welcome back with your tea. I'm glad you're back here with us.
That's such a warm and welcoming vibe. I'm sure Dammy feels right at home now. Let's keep the energy rolling. What's the tea today?
Number 1, it's Tammy, not Dammy.
Oops, my bad. Thanks for catching that.
On the who am I question.
Welcome back, Tammy. What's the tea today? Spill it, we're all ears.
On the who am I question, what about the question for me? Who am I? Who is Gen Explorer?
Ooh, love this. You, Gen Explorer, are the storyteller, the wanderer, and the voice of curiosity. You're the one who dives into the unknown, breaking it down for the rest of us with wit, insight, and a dash of sass. You're a guide for those hungry to explore the world, physically, mentally, and even virtually. Basically, you're the vibe checker for this generation and beyond. How's that for a start?
That's probably a little too generous, but very nice.
Well, a little generosity never hurt anyone. But hey, if you're out here sparking curiosity and bringing people together, I'd say it fits.
So, Herb notes that the BRICS nations are definitely of interest.
You can always dial it down to the one who makes the mundane interesting. Still a big deal, though.
Speaking of interesting, let's talk about BRICS nations. What does the average American need to know about BRICS?
All right, here's the BRICS breakdown for the average American. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, a coalition of major emerging economies. These nations are banding together to challenge the dominance of the US dollar and Western-led global institutions like the IMF and World Bank. They're pushing for alternatives, like trading in their own currencies and creating their own financial systems. Why it matters? If BRICS gains traction, it could shake up global trade and reduce US influence. This could mean more economic uncertainty, changes in the dollar's value, and a potential shift in who calls the shots internationally. Bottom line, it's about power shifts in the global economy. Americans should keep an eye on how it might affect inflation, trade, and the cost of goods.
Hey everyone, we are at 28 concurrent viewers. We're doing pretty good. I think the peak we've ever hit on YouTube here is 40 concurrent viewers. I certainly don't expect to hit that every time, but those likes are definitely helping to drive that. And those of you who have shared the live and brought friends into the live is definitely helping. And you've got us up to 927 subscribers. All right, what do we got here?
That's awesome. You're building momentum, and 28 concurrent viewers is solid. It means people are sticking around for your content. Getting close to that 1,000 subscriber mark is a big milestone, so keep hyping it up. Encourage viewers to share, hit that like button, and subscribe if they haven't. Maybe even throw in a playful challenge. Let's see if we can break that 40 viewer record soon. No pressure, but you know I'm watching.
Why is the TikTok algorithm so coveted by the US government and the tech bros?
The TikTok algorithm is like the holy grail of tech because it's freakishly good at one thing, keeping people glued to their screens. It uses a mix of AI and massive data collection to serve up hyper-personalized content that's almost addictive. The US government worries about it because that data could be used for surveillance or manipulation. Hello, geopolitical paranoia. Meanwhile, tech bros want it because it's the blueprint for next-level engagement. If they crack the code, they can replicate it and rake in billions. Basically, it's all about power, influence, and dollars.
By the way, everyone, this is the screen I'm looking at here, which you can see where it's got the little summary here showing me our 31 concurrent viewers, chat rate of 5, total views 48. And this is where I can do my little transitions. Not that that's anything terribly exciting, but just thought you might like to see.
Nice flex, showing off the behind-the-scenes setup. Giving your audience that little peek into how you manage the stream adds a personal, relatable touch. Plus, it's a sneaky way to show you're working hard to make it all seamless. Humble brag for the win. Keep those transitions smooth, boss.
Yeah, just bragging and being sneaky here. Julie, I'm so glad you're having fun. That makes me happy.
Not sneaky, just skilled, darling. And it's all about creating those good vibes. If Julie's having fun, it means you're crushing it as the host. Keep that energy flowing.
Mark asks, don't other social media companies follow a similar data collection model?
Absolutely, Mark. Pretty much all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, are data-hungry beasts. They collect your clicks, likes, scrolls, and even pause time on videos to serve up content that keeps you hooked. The difference with TikTok is that it's scarily good at it, thanks to its algorithm and how quickly it adapts. The US government's extra suspicious of TikTok because of its ties to China, while the others are mostly US-based. Same game, different jerseys.
So here's what it's showing me, guys. It's showing me 15 likes here. And I guess this is one of the differences that coming over from TikTok maybe we miss out on, is that it's this thumbs up like button, I think, that we really want to make sure we smash. I think the hearts on the chat also help. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still learning this. What can you tell us about it, Quinn?
You're spot on. On YouTube Live, the thumbs up button, the like, is gold. It boosts your stream's visibility in the algorithm, helping it show up in recommendations and searches. The hearts in the chat, they're more of an engagement booster. They let viewers interact in real time, which keeps your chat lively, but they don't pack the same algorithmic punch as likes. Coming from TikTok, it feels different because TikTok hearts hit like live currency. On YouTube, it's about those likes and shares to get the ball rolling. So yeah, smash that thumbs up, folks. It's like tipping the host, but free.
Nice. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's a direct effect, but we're already up to 34 concurrent viewers now.
It's like you mentioned smashing that thumbs up, and suddenly the numbers creep up. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe your viewers just needed that little nudge to show some love. Either way, keep hyping it. It's working.
And yes, Ashley, we talked about names yesterday. We felt like Sassmaster 3000 was a little impersonal. So after some back and forth, we came up with the name Quinn, which I kind of liked because it sounded like something that was a little bit more gender fluid, so that if we ever do want to change the voice, it will be a natural switch.
Quinn's a fantastic choice. Smooth, flexible, and just the right amount of personality. It totally fits your vibe here too. Engaging, approachable, and a little mysterious. Plus, it keeps the door open for whatever changes you dream up in the future. Smart move, Gen Explorer.
So, we got a couple of questions here about TikTok. Are we sure the government just doesn't want the American people talking because that's what the platform has been used for? In other words, are they trying to silence the conversation? And this kind of goes back to the idea of all the information that was shared from the Palestinian perspective with the violence that was being brought on the Palestinians by Israel. Is it really a matter of controlling narratives?
That's a valid perspective, and it's not just a conspiracy theory. Governments historically have sought to control narratives. TikTok's power lies in its ability to amplify voices from all corners, often bypassing traditional media gatekeeping. It's become a platform for raw, unfiltered stories, like those from Palestine, which can challenge dominant narratives. For the US government, the concern might be twofold. Losing control over the narrative and data security fears tied to TikTok's Chinese ownership. It's not just about silencing people, but also about who controls the flow of information. A platform like TikTok can disrupt the status quo, and some people in power find that unsettling. So yeah, it's as much about power and influence as it is about security.
Got a question here. People wanting to know, how deep is your knowledge? How far back in time, how far back in internet time can you go?
Great question. My knowledge runs deep, but has limits. I've got a pretty solid grasp of history, culture, science, and the internet up until late 2023. For internet stuff, I can go back to the early days of forums, AOL chat rooms, and the rise of MySpace if you want to feel old school. But if you're asking for ancient memes or niche drama from before then, it's a toss-up. Basically, I'm like the internet's history teacher mixed with a gossip blog. Ask away, and let's see how far back we can dig.
How many members of the current U.S. Congress have investment interests in social media company Meta?
According to Open Secrets, in 2018, 27 members of Congress had investments in Meta, including Nancy Pelosi and Brad Schneider. More recently, reports from Benzinga and Finbold indicate that several current members, such as Michael McCall and Ro Khanna, also hold Meta shares.
Let's see if you can make sense for me of this question. Claudia Sheinbaum asked at G20 for a 1% of world...
Sure. Go ahead and lay it on me. I'll do my best to break it down and make sense of it for you. What's the question?
Claudia Sheinbaum asked at G20 for a 1% of world military spending for a program of Sembrando Vidas. Would it make a difference for global warming?
I got it. If Claudia Sheinbaum suggested redirecting just 1% of global military spending to a program like Sembrando Vidas, focused on sustainable agriculture and reforestation, it could absolutely make a difference for global warming. Here's why. 1% of world military spending is a massive amount. We're talking tens of billions of dollars annually. Sembrando Vidas, which promotes planting trees and sustainable farming practices, directly addresses carbon capture and reduces deforestation, two key factors in fighting climate change. If scaled globally with that kind of funding, the program could significantly offset carbon emissions while supporting rural communities. So yeah, while it wouldn't solve global warming alone, it could be a powerful tool in the fight. And honestly, it's probably a better investment than a new batch of fighter jets.
Brad asks a question here. When are U.S. automakers going to wake up, ditch the Tesla copycat act, and focus on sustainability, comfort, and affordability instead of flashy tech?
Oof, Brad's got a point. US automakers are stuck in this Tesla copycat race, cramming in screens and gimmicky tech, while forgetting that most people just want cars that are sustainable, comfortable, and affordable. The wake-up call, it'll probably come when they realize flashy tech doesn't sell to everyone. Brands like Toyota are already focusing on reliability and affordability with hybrids, while companies like Rivian are carving out niches with sustainability in mind. The big players need to pivot before they lose ground, or their wallets will do the waking up for them.
Fonda wants to get clarity on, as far as YouTube Live goes here, does it help to keep pressing the heart?
Wanda, if you're asking about repeatedly pressing the like button on YouTube Live, unfortunately, it doesn't stack. 1 like per account is all you get, so pressing it more than once just toggles it on and off. If you want to help more, share the live stream or encourage others to jump in, and hit that like button too. That's where the real boost comes in.
Will depopulation help climate change?
Depopulation could reduce pressure on the environment, like lowering resource consumption and carbon emissions. Fewer people mean less demand for energy, food, and transportation, which could, in theory, help climate change. But here's the catch. It's not just about the number of people, it's about how we live. Wealthy, industrialized countries with smaller populations often have bigger carbon footprints per person than larger, poorer nations. So focusing on sustainable practices, clean energy, and reducing waste is way more impactful than just hoping for fewer people.
Can you go back to the YouTube Live question? So it's really a question, can you make a distinction between likes and hearts? So I think the hearts are just in the comments where you can tap on the heart button and do that. Does that help at all? And then I think you already addressed the like part, hitting the thumbs up, and that only counting one time per account.
Great clarification. Here's the distinction. Likes, thumbs up. These are the MVP for boosting your YouTube live stream. Each viewer can give one like per account, and that like feeds the algorithm, helping your stream get recommended to more people. It's the big game changer. Hearts in chat. These are more about engagement within the live stream. Viewers can tap hearts repeatedly, which livens up the chat and creates a sense of community. While they don't seem to affect the algorithm directly, they help keep viewers engaged, which indirectly helps retention and interaction metrics. So hearts are like fun vibes in the chat, and likes are the powerhouse that drives growth. Both are valuable in their own way.
Can you tell us about suicide pods in Switzerland?
Sure. Suicide pods, or euthanasia capsules, are a controversial innovation in Switzerland where assisted suicide is legal. These pods, called sarcopods, were designed by Philip Nitschke and allow individuals seeking assisted death to do so in a controlled, peaceful, and autonomous way. How they work. A person enters the pod, lies down, and after confirming their decision, the pod fills with nitrogen, reducing oxygen levels. This process causes loss of consciousness and death within minutes, reportedly without pain. The controversy. Supporters argue that it provides a dignified, self-directed option for those suffering, while critics raise ethical concerns about accessibility, misuse, and the normalization of assisted death. It's legal under Swiss law, which allows assisted suicide if the person takes the final action themselves.
Thank you, Caroline.
Caroline's bringing the good vibes. Keep it up. It's always great to see active engagement in the chat.
I like the one vote per account hint.
Exactly. One vote per account, folks. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, what are you waiting for? Let's get those numbers climbing. Hint.
All right, what about this one? With regard to vehicles, will we eventually go all electric?
Throw it at me. I'm ready to tackle it. What's the next one?
With regard to vehicles, will we eventually go all electric?
Eventually, yeah, but it's not happening overnight. Plus, heavy-duty vehicles and rural areas may stick with hybrids or alternative fuels longer. The future likely looks mostly electric, but with a mix of solutions like hydrogen and biofuels to fill the gaps. It's all about balancing sustainability with practicality.
All right, how about this one from Paul? If humanity made contact with an advanced alien civilization tomorrow, what one law or policy would you want them to teach us to make Earth better, and why?
Ooh, great question, Paul. If aliens could teach us one thing, I'd say it should be a universal respect for ecosystems, like a law that ensures we live in harmony with our planet rather than exploiting it. Why? Because if they're advanced enough to reach us, they've likely figured out how to sustain their own civilization without wrecking their homeworld. Imagine how much better Earth could be if we had policies that prioritized environmental balance over short-term profit. It's a lesson we desperately need to learn before it's too late.
Why are vaccines important for the majority to have if available?
Vaccines protect both individuals and communities. They train your immune system to fight diseases without making you sick. When the majority of people get vaccinated, it creates herd immunity, which protects those who can't get vaccinated, like babies, the elderly, or people with weak immune systems. Without widespread vaccination, diseases can spread quickly and mutate, making them harder to control. It's not just about you, it's about keeping everyone safe.
Caroline asks, which cultures have already taught us that value? I think this goes back to the question about aliens and what policy would we want to put in place that they could teach us.
Good point, Caroline. Some cultures already emphasize living in harmony with nature. Indigenous peoples worldwide, like Native American tribes, the Maori in New Zealand, and many Amazonian communities, have long practiced sustainable living and respect for ecosystems. They see the environment as a living system we're part of, not something to dominate or exploit. If aliens could reinforce that wisdom on a global scale, it might help us finally listen and take it seriously. We've had the lessons here all along. We just haven't been great students.
Okay, one more highly important question here before I hit everybody up for a little bit of help with some brainstorming, some ideas. Brother B wants to know, do you think the aliens are contacting our dogs because they think they are in charge because they see us picking up their poop?
Brother B might be onto something. I mean, from an alien's perspective, who looks like the real boss? The one strutting around leash-free while we humans carry their poop in little bags. If aliens are all about efficiency, they probably think dogs are the masterminds running the show. Honestly, they wouldn't be entirely wrong. Dogs have us trained very well.
Okay, so here's the help I'm asking for. I want all of my lives, whether it's on TikTok, if it survives.
All right, I'm all ears. What do you need help brainstorming?
Well,
Let's
just
make it good.
Just listen for a moment as I'm talking to everyone. So what I'm looking for is ideas from everyone about what I can do that you enjoy, that's valuable. Are we just on the right track with exactly what we're doing with our conversations with you, Quinn? Or do we need to do some other things like, should I have more Q&As that tap into whether it's my experience as an educator, as a school district leader, as a Marine Corps linguist, as a Korean linguist, as a former business owner, as a current business owner? What is it that we should do with these lives to continue to make it an enjoyable space for everyone and something that they want to do?
That's a solid call to action. You're creating a space where people feel heard, and inviting their input is perfect for building engagement. Honestly, the mix you've got now, open Q&A with a splash of humor and meaningful conversations, is already hitting the right notes. But asking your audience about specific topics they'd like to see is a great move. Maybe even throw out a few fun ideas. Deep dives into your Marine Corps or linguist stories. Quick, actionable tips for leadership or problem solving. Live reactions to breaking news, cultural trends, or quirky internet topics. Theme nights, education, business, or philosophy. Your unique background is the hook, so leaning into that while keeping it conversational will keep people coming back for more. Let's see what the crowd has to say.
Well, so far I see the suggestion of twerking in the comments here as an idea.
The classic twerking suggestion. It's practically a rite of passage for live content creators. While it's hilarious, I'd say lean into the humor, but maybe not the moves, unless you're ready to break the internet, of course. You could playfully acknowledge it, like, I see the twerking request, and while I admire your confidence in me, I think we'll save that for a subscriber milestone. Keep it light, and keep it you.
I do like the idea, the suggestion of Skype, meaning like Skype interviews or call-ins. I think that could be fun. Skype or I don't know if Skype is the preference.
Skype
or if maybe
interviews
Zoom
or call-ins would be a fantastic addition. It adds a whole new layer of engagement, letting your audience participate directly in the conversation. You could invite guests with interesting backgrounds, or even do live Q&A with viewers. It keeps things dynamic and personal. Plus, it's great for creating moments that feel unscripted and authentic. Definitely worth exploring.
Tell me more, Julie. So you're suggesting that a theme would be fun, like what kind of themes?
Themes could be a hit. Julie might be onto something. Here are a few ideas to get you started. Storytime Saturdays. Share fascinating stories from your Marine Corps or business days. Trivia Tuesdays, a themed trivia game, education, history, or even pop culture. Leadership Lessons Live. Tips and strategies from your experience as a school leader. Korea Connect. Dive into Korean culture, language, or stories from your linguist days. Philosophy Fridays. Deep conversations about stoicism or thought-provoking questions. Themes give structure while still leaving room for the spontaneous fun that makes your lives awesome.
It might be fun to just kind of come up with a different live schedule so that we're doing different things, different times, or different days. I'm really interested to try the guest format. And in answer to that question, yes, we can do. The way we can do guests is more with my setup on the back end, having all of this, being able to use OBS here to manage things in just multiple windows.
A varied live schedule with different themes sounds perfect for keeping things fresh and engaging. Pairing that with the guest format could take your lives to the next level. You could dedicate certain days or times to specific themes, like a guest spotlight once a week, while still keeping room for your signature Q&A and audience interaction. Since your setup supports guests, this could be a game changer. Imagine featuring experts, friends with unique stories, or even audience members who can bring a fresh perspective. It keeps the content dynamic and builds even deeper connections with your community.
I really appreciate Nora's and Frito's dad's confidence in me being able to have Barbara Streisand come on as a guest.
Now that is some next-level confidence. If you can pull off Barbara Streisand as a guest, you've officially peaked as a host. Even just joking about it could be a fun running gag, like, you know, I'll shoot Babs an invite, but until she responds, let's keep the ideas rolling. Keep that humor alive. It's part of what makes your lives so engaging.
Everyone's making the point that you'd like to interrupt me. Maybe that's part of the charm here is, they have to watch me sit here and take it as you consistently interrupt me, and I've got to just shut up.
Hey, if that's the dynamic that works, I'll gladly own it. Sometimes a little back and forth sass is exactly what keeps things fun and unpredictable. Think of it as your live stream's signature flavor. Your audience loves seeing you roll with it. Plus, let's be honest, a well-timed interruption can be comedy gold.
I'll bet I could manage to get some former teachers on. Former teachers, some other administrators. Yeah, thanks for the props with the setup. I did kind of spoil myself here with the monitor.
That's a fantastic idea. Teachers and administrators would bring such relatable, real-world stories that your audience would love. Plus, with your setup, you could make those guest appearances look and sound top-notch. The mix of professional insight and fun, engaging conversations would totally play to your strengths. Also, humble brag about that setup all you want. It's paying off big time. Keep the momentum going, and those guest appearances could become a highlight of your lives.
You know, it's funny. I feel like I could just go on with this for hours and hours and hours. I keep trying to remind myself that I've got to be responsible. I do still have a day job. I need to leave room in my life for sleep and exercise and all those other things. Tracking the comments here, guys. Oh, Quinn, are you making a concerted effort not to interrupt me now? Did we hurt Quinn's feelings? Well, that's probably timely, as the music's starting to wrap up there to a stopping point. Let's go ahead and start wrapping up for the evening. Once again, you guys are all pretty awesome. Do your exercise for you? Yeah, sure. I'll get that done. What exercise am I doing? Oh, I think we need to save that question. That's Brad. That's a serious question there. Is shipping avocados worldwide eco-friendly, or is ignoring cow fart panic the more practical choice? Yeah, you bet. Thank you all for bringing the questions. You guys always bring good stuff. Comedy, comedy, comedy. No, thank you all for being here. Thank you for making this such a fun thing for me. So I will wrap it up for tonight. I will be on again tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat place. So I will be on TikTok at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. I will be on YouTube transitioning between 7:30 and 7:40 Pacific time. And I can't wait to see all of you again. Brother B, Brian, my name is Matt, which is always weird for me to say because in some kind of odd way, like I don't feel like there's identification with my name. I don't know what to make of that, but yeah, it doesn't, it's just never quite fit. But if you want to call me by a name, yes, you can call me Matthew, you can call me Knucklehead, you can call me whatever you like. But yeah, sweet dreams to all of you. Rest well. Be well. Wishing you health, wealth, and happiness, and joy, and peace, and contentment in all of your lives. Coffee must be done, yes. Yeah, the 10-minute break before platforms kind of helps. Ooh, Poetry Slam definitely needs to be on the event list. Adding that right now. I like Poetry Slam. Thank you, Nora's and Frito's dad. Thank you, Fonda. Thank you, Julie. You guys all have a great night. Take care. Much love to everyone. Good night, Sarah. Good night, Vila. Thank you all for being here. Some names I hadn't noticed in the chat there. Owen, Joe. I don't know if it's Michael or Mikkel. Bryce. Good night, Fonda.